Okay, in this week's episode, Charlie's going to take the intro because it's only an intro that he can do.
Whoa, is it really? Okay.
Yeah, make sure you read the stage directions though.
Okay. Like
It's down to bottom.
yeah. To do it, so I need to do the stage directions, like for sure.
Yeah, you need to.
Okay.
It would only make sense that way.
This really feels like a cop out where you wrote an intro that you don't do in the stupidest way you've done so far. Okay.
Hey, I'm not mad at you or anything.
Ahoy, mateys! Gather round and lend me your ears, for I be spinning a yarn about a creature more fearsome than a kraken, more elusive than the finest treasure, and more mysterious and deadlier than Davy Jones' locker itself. Aye, the rumors be true. We be delving into the most fierce nautical tale of all time, the Chupacabra. A beast said to roam the lands with a thirst for blood and knack for vanishing into the night like a ghost ship on the high seas. Batten down the hatches and prepare yourselves. You best start believing in red threads. You're in one.
Let's go! That last line is such a banger.
That's great, bro. That goes so hard.
That actually goes ballistic.
I love my job. I get to write dumb shit and just make Charlie say it. So good.
You best start believing in red threads. You're in one. It's so good. I also like
What is it?
how you described it as a nautical tale, like it's just swimming.
Yeah.
I also like, what the fuck do pirates have to do with the Chupacabra?
I know, that's great.
Like, where did this come from, Charlie?
that's
Why did you start talking about that? It's so weird.
You wouldn't get it out there on the high seas. All kinds of nasty, dastardly things happen.
It's crazy that you didn't even have an intro written, Jackson, and that Charlie just started doing that on his own.
That was all
volition.
improv.
That's crazy.
That was wild.
Wow.
It was after last week's audition, let's say, in the episode about Bohemian Grove, where you went through all your voices. I just couldn't stop thinking about it, and I think your pirate voice is probably my favorite voice that you do. So that's just why I wanted to hear that. It's just very satisfying to hear it. So thank you for that.
I'm glad you think so.
Isaiah, can you do any voices? Just so I know for future episodes.
I'm awful at impressions. I mean, maybe I could pull off a pirate voice or something, but like it would have to be something very generic, like a child voice or like a old man voice or something like that. I can't. Perhaps if presented with one in the wild, I could surpass it, but I can't think of any right now.
Okay, fair enough. I'll try to do a child introduction for you to mimic next week or something.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. That won't turn
I do
anyone off
on
watching the episode.
on Creepcast. I do this. There's this running gag that I do the world's worst Jeff Goldblum impression, but I just do it all the time because it's annoying. It's not even Jeff Goldblum. It's just like it sounds like a crazy man who's like heard of Jeff Goldblum before. And I use it
loosely Jeff Goldblum.
Like if I was to start reading the first paragraph, it'd be like, in the eerie landscapes of rural Latin America, there are whispers.
So it's just the upwards inflection at the end of each sentence, kind of.
It's not even really an impression.
Exactly.
You just go.
Yeah,
that's what Jeff Goldblum's known for.
Like I said, it's a guy who saw Jeff Goldblum once and now thinks about it. That's what's an imitation of.
That makes sense.
You know what's super strange, Charlie? So Charlie didn't read the intro up until the point where he read the intro at the start of the episode. Just then, we came into this episode, the recording. We sat down, and he said, "Is this episode about the Kraken or something like that?" You said you should have made. No, you said you should have made this episode about the Kraken. Because we're doing the Chupacabra for anyone who's immediately forgotten about that. And then, the intro had the Kraken referenced in it, which is... I found that
was him being
weird.
Possessed. 1,000,000%.
Yeah,
I found that super weird.
That's pretty weird.
Super weird.
It's kind of creepy.
Your intuition was on point. So this week, Red Thread, hello. We're talking about the Chupacabra. I realized it had been a while since we've done an episode on any cryptids. It's been like almost 3 months, I think, since the last Crypted episode. So for a show that's entire premise was meant to be talking about cryptids, and other conspiracies and stuff. Very few cryptids we've talked about. Do you guys have any theories as to why that is?
Probably because there's only so many cryptids left.
Well, no, there's so many cryptids. Are you kidding me? There's so many cryptids.
Yeah, but good ones. Like, I'm not talking about like the boojum or anything. I mean good ones.
Them's fighting words around these parts, mister. You're gonna find out in Texas. You gonna make fun of our Christians, make fun of the boojum. Hey, that killed my granddaddy. You want to talk about him that way? Want to talk about
he died a hero.
Is the boojum in Texas? I thought that was a North Carolina only one.
No, I just thought you made up a word. I did.
Oh no, that was a real cryptid.
I didn't know that was a real thing.
Well, that kind of explains my point, though. You can just kind of make up a word, and it's probably a cryptid. So, I think the main thing, though, is why we haven't done as many cryptids is there's just not that much to talk about with them. Like, there's some stories here and there, but it's kind of repeating the same story over and over again. It's fun, but it's like with a lot of the other topics, especially the conspiracies and like stuff like the Bohemian Grove, there's a lot to dive into, so that there's more, substantial room for conversation and stuff.
Yeah.
But with cryptids, it's just kind of like we talk about their appearance, talk about when they were sighted, and then we go, are they real? Nah, probably not.
I think what it is like normally on video topics we do like the Malaysian flight or Bohemian Grove. There's like a core narrative that we can kind of dissect and unpack and stuff. Whereas with cryptids, it's like, okay, there's a story around it that probably isn't real. And it's like, that's the whole thing. It's less involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so as well.
No, I still love them.
Chupacabra.
I still love covering them, don't get me wrong.
I love them as well, but it's like something where you talk about them for maybe like a paragraph. So I'm thinking maybe for like future cryptid episodes, maybe we do like a grab bag or something and discuss multiple.
Yeah, that might be the way.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think anyway. I'm interested in hearing people's thoughts about if you guys enjoy the cryptid episodes as much as you enjoy the other
episodes. Stay tuned for the 7-hour boojum breakdown.
Where we go over every single element of the boojum, or whatever the fuck you just
over
said.
over the course of our video, Charlie breaks to record 4 of his main channel videos.
Yeah, nothing stops that production line.
Nothing, no.
Yeah. So Chupacabra, though, pretty big cryptid. You guys been? You've ever seen him?
Never seen him.
Any kind of connection with him? Any kind of interest?
I made a tweet about him once a long time ago saying that the Chupacabra's real. He just fucked my grandpa.
What?
Wow. I'm sorry for your grandpa. That sounds pretty traumatic.
Yeah, well, he didn't mind.
It's pretty heavy. Oh.
He was a big fan of the Chupacabra.
So I actually have a very deep connection to the Chupacabra because when I was in the 8th grade, I had to do a research paper over like any like debated topic in history. So most people were normal, and they did it over like a presidency, or they did it over like I think someone did it over like the Romanov twins or stuff like that, or the or like Lindenberg baby, normal stuff. I did the Chupacabra because I'm a freak. So I remember in the 8th grade, that was the first time, I guess, I ever like really thought about cryptids or like dug into the legends and stories around it and sightings and like made a whole presentation about it. Which, if you think about it, would be canonically the first Wendigoon video. Even though it wasn't recorded. Ooh. It was young me putting together research and then talking about a thing that goes bump in the night. So
if only a teacher recorded it, they could be a millionaire right now.
They could have $1 bajillion for sure.
Yeah. That's cool. I like that. I like that you've got a history with the Chupacabra. He's kind of made you who you are today, which is pretty cool. So yeah, Chupacabra, it's a pretty recent cryptid though. Like, there's not that many like
95.
long-term cultural stories around it, really, because it's like a very recent cryptid. It was first sighted in the 90s. I mean, there's definitely reports from the 70s and stuff, but
well, what's happened is after it became a thing in 95, they started to retroactively apply old sightings to it. Yeah.
Yeah, from I think the earliest report that I could find was from like the 70s, where they retroactively kind of were like, well, this thing in this place at this time kind of sounds like what we're experiencing right now. So maybe it was also the Chupacabra. But yeah, it's definitely a cryptid I've heard a lot of, but never really dug into. It's kind of just like one of those names that has existed since I was growing up, where it's like, I know what you're talking about, but I've never really looked into it. And I was surprised because I've heard about it so much. I was going and expecting something kind of like the Wendigo with like, you know, hundreds of years of cultural history and stuff. But no, it's like very recent.
Pretty sure the Chupacabra's even in a Scooby-Doo episode.
Thank you.
I love you, Charlie.
It just ties into like how everyone perceived the Chupacabra to be bigger than it was, or a longer standing cryptid than it was. Yeah.
I thought you were just wanting to do Scooby-Doo voices again.
No.
So you were working up to that.
We hypothetically maybe needed a Shaggy voice. You know, that would be fitting for the scenario. Charlie, please never change. That was so great after Jackson said all that. Also, Scooby-Doo.
Just got to get all the facts out there.
How was he portrayed in Scooby-Doo?
I was about to say I'm not even sure he was.
Well, so he's just in, like, he's just
making it up. Charlie's actively creating misinformation.
I'll double check.
Yeah. You do the on-the-ground research reporting required.
It's Scooby-Doo and the Monster of Mexico. It's the Chupacabra. It's an entire movie.
Okay, sweet. And he's not shown at all.
No, he's portrayed as like kind of a Bigfoot. Or sorry, not Bigfoot. King Kong. Like he's climbing on top of buildings and stuff.
What? That's not what Chupacabra does. It's nothing like
it's
Chupacabra.
El Chupacabra. Officially.
Oh, well, that's
credited.
like a wrestler. That's a wrestler. That's probably a wrestler or something, right?
Well, no, it's the Chupacabra. That's what that translates to.
Well, maybe he was climbing a building. Maybe it is just like a wrestler or something.
It's just a different depiction of the Chupacabra, that's all.
Okay. They took some creative liberties with it.
Exactly. Nothing wrong with that.
All right, so in the eerie landscapes of rural Latin America, as Charlie was just talking about, there are whispers of a terrifying legendary creature known as the Chupacabra. The name Chupacabra, derived from the Spanish words chupa and cabra, which means suck and goat, retrospectively, literally means, like I just said, goat sucker. More importantly, this explains chupa chups, meaning sucks. Did you know? Do you guys have chupa chups? Yeah, you do, don't
They're
you?
chupa chups, I think is how you say them.
Chupa? Oh, well, I say chupa chups. I guess I've never heard people say it, so maybe I'm saying it wrong.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean we have them? Is that like a thing? A chupa chup?
It's a snack. It's a little candy.
What?
They're candy, yeah. You suck them. They're like little lollipops.
You all are insane. What are you talking about?
You've never had them?
Jackson, I get saying weird stuff like this, but Charlie, I have never seen this in my life. This is from an alternate reality.
No, they're real. They're a real thing.
I'm looking at pictures of them right now. This is insane. There's no way.
They were like massive during childhood over here, like very, very.
They're not huge over here. They're never massive.
Okay.
Okay.
I actually only know about them because they sponsor an esports team.
Okay.
Oh, that's weird. Who do they sponsor?
Carmine Corp.
Ah, okay. And they're European, so that would probably make sense, right?
Oh yeah, well, European. No, I'm too important for that.
Nice. I'm glad we're friends. I'm sweating here.
Jackson's the one exception. He's the one.
I hope he doesn't find out I'm from the other side of the planet.
Yeah, but cut to Jackson with like British flags hung all over his room and stuff. Oh no.
No, I don't like England. I went to England last year and I didn't like it very much.
You really didn't like it.
I mean, I had an awful trip. I think it was mostly my fault.
As an American, I don't like it, but as an Australian, I would really not like it.
Oh yeah, after what they did to us.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate.
Throwing prisoners on an island.
Yeah, so chupa chups or chupa chups, whatever, however you say it. We say chupa chups, I feel like, unless there's going to be an Australian correcting me in the comments and I'm just wrong. I say chupa chups and I'm sticking to it. That means sucks. It's not even relevant to the Chupacabra. I don't know what I'm talking about. This feisty little thing, the Chupacabra, has routinely made headlines and excited cryptozoologists across the world since the 70s. Since the 90s, really. Despite numerous sightings and stories, the true nature of the Chupacabra remains shrouded in mystery, with stories and tales spreading across rural communities spanning from Puerto Rico to Brazil, Mexico, and even your country, guys.
Uh-oh.
Even the southern United States has seen it. How do you feel about that? You've got the Chupacabra.
That's
Sounds
not
like an
good.
STD.
Hide your goats.
As we've established with Charlie's grandfather, it's very not good. Can be terrible, actually.
It's fucking everyone.
just a dog out there, just getting whoever he can.
I say, how can you say Australia is so bad when we don't have the Chupacabra, but you have the Chupacabra?
Okay, for one, the Chupacabra isn't.
Our goats are safe, mostly.
You've got the thing. What is the big long thing that like can destroy anything? What am I talking
Snakes.
about? You know what I mean?
Godzilla?
No, okay, that too. You have real stuff that can kill you. For one, I'm talking about your cryptid. The
Oh, are you talking about like the dream serpent?
No, me and you have talked about this. It eats cows and stuff. Don't gaslight me now. It's on my wall back here.
I have no clue what you're talking
Hold
about.
on. I have literally a wall next to me of 300 cryptid
The Yowie.
names.
No, I don't. Yowie's not long.
You just picked a random one. I hate you. You're mocking me. That's what this is.
I'm not mocking you. I don't have any idea
This
what
is
you're
slander,
talking about.
actually. Bunyip. The bunyip. The bunyip.
Oh, the bunyip. Is it long?
I mean, in some depictions it is. Yeah.
Oh, it is long.
But yeah, we have. You can't talk about us being bad for the Chupacabra when you have that thing. The thing's creepy.
Well, our goats are safe, so that's all I care about. Our livestock is secure for the most part.
No, but
Apart
it's
from, like,
not. It eats
crocodiles.
livestock.
Yeah,
That's one of its whole things. What are you talking about?
Yeah, actually, most things in the country eat livestock.
You are so bad at gaslighting me.
Hey, that's a good thing. You shouldn't be good at gaslighting. Okay,
See,
so
like that.
Charlie,
What?
take on the appearance.
Okay.
Start talking about what it looks like.
It's been changed throughout the years, and its initial sightings in Puerto Rico is described as being more reptilian in nature. Not particularly tall, around 3 to 4 feet, standing and walking on its 2 back legs. Many describe it as having leathery or scaly green-gray skin. Very large almond eyes that stretched out to the back of its head that glowed an ominous red. It had sharp spikes that began at the base of its head running down its spine. This particular descriptor reminds me of a Carcharodontosaurus, or an
Carcharodontosaurus.
yeah, Carcharodontosaurus, or an Amargasaurus from the Cretaceous period.
Weird how that reminded you of those things.
Yeah, that's what,
but okay.
that's what came to my head when I read that. Yeah,
That's so funny. Oh, he went kagar. Wow. Like he just immediately.
It's so simple. It's just Carcharodontosaurus.
Oh, that's funny.
yeah, of course, it's very, very simple. And sharp fang teeth, perfect for puncturing and sucking blood. Some believe they saw it also have wings.
A lot of cryptids have wings retroactively. Like they're
Yeah.
like, well, yeah. On second thought, it had wings.
It also
It could be.
makes it
It could
easier
be
to move
something to
around.
explain. Yeah, explain how it gets around, like
Correct,
it disappears
yeah.
and stuff. Probably.
Oh, you want to
Practicality.
know how it was on 2 sides of the country in the same day? Well,
had wings.
I actually remember now it had wings, so that would explain that.
Yep. So just for a little, for the visual watchers, the people watching the YouTube video, here is a picture of the reptilian version of the Chupacabra. It looks cute.
It is. It's very sweet looking.
Yeah, it looks friendly, like a little. I mean, its teeth are a bit ominous and its eyes are a bit ominous, but overall, the entire package, I wouldn't feel as threatened by as other cryptids we've covered.
Yeah.
Especially since it's only like, what, 4 feet tall?
Yeah, 3 to 4 feet tall. It's not very big.
Yeah, what's it going to do to you? And those teeth look like just basically like cat teeth, so I don't feel like it would do too much damage to you.
I feel like too the it reminds me a lot of like the Kappa, like the little green men with like the
Oh,
turtle shell
yeah,
on their
turtle
back
shell.
and stuff. Yeah,
Hmm.
looks similar
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah, it looks wholesome. I like this version of it. But that's not the version that stuck around for very long because after that, it changed. So, Charlie, continue, please.
As the sightings moved more to America and Mexico, the descriptions changed. Now is more like a medium-sized dog that walked on all fours. It was hairless or had sparse hair with a blue-grayish tint to it with leathery, rough skin. Occasionally described as glowing, the eyes were more sunken and canine in appearance, not drawn back across the head in an almond shape. The creature was bony and thin, its ribs clearly seen and ridges on the back standing out through its skin. Its teeth were sharp and predominant, used for biting and tearing at flesh.
Yeah, so this is what I mean. This is what kind of like upset me. Well, not upset me, but kind of like irritated me about the Chupacabra. Is it started off as this kind of cool creature, like with the reptilian kind of influences. It kind of looks pretty unique there. And then it just shifts into like a demon dog.
Yeah, just a normal demon dog. It looks like one of those fucking mobs in RuneScape, the Hellhounds. It's just very standard.
Yeah, the Hellhounds and COD Zombies or something like that.
Do you mind if I take this part as well? Because this has a cool CIA drawing of a Chupacabra.
Yeah, you can.
Charlie, like, looking at his day's work schedule. Ah, yes, perfect. This is exactly where
This is where I want to do.
It was in the small town of Mocha, Puerto Rico in the 70s where the story of the Chupacabra starts. Although not actually seen, livestock in the area were targeted and killed, their blood drained from their bodies through small circular incision wounds. These wounds were consistent with 2 pointed teeth marks. Some initially thought the suspects may have been from a satanic cult. As more animals began to die, the locals started to blame what they called El Vampiro de Mocha, the vampire of Mocha. Fast forward 20 years, still in Puerto Rico, 8 sheep were found mysteriously dead. When investigating, 3 puncture wounds were found in the chests of each sheep and they were completely drained of blood. Obviously, this is a strange scenario, and with no real solution to cling to, the investigators just reported that some sort of predator killed the animals, possibly a fox.
When they say investigation, like I'm assuming they don't set up like a CIA scene for 8 slaughtered sheep.
No.
I'm assuming they just like looked at the chest and were like, oh yeah, a fox probably kiled it.
Yeah,
that was the
I think just
extent of
farmers.
the investigation. So what is the rational explanation for that? Is it actually just foxes? Like I would assume that they would drag the meat with them or something.
Yeah. I don't know. Do bats ever eat meat like that? Do they ever suck blood out of cows and sheep and shit?
in small amounts, like vampire
Yeah,
bats will do it a little bit, but not enough for like the cow to notice.
And also not enough, not to be completely drained unless it was like an army of bats. And also one bat killed 8 sheep. One rogue bat.
Well,
it'd
be like a swarm, I imagine. Like they were real hungry.
That's more terrifying than a chupacabra. Just having like hundreds of bats descend on someone.
Clinging to you, feasting on you.
Yeah.
I mean, but if there was a swarm of bats going through, I feel like the farmers would have noticed. Like a swarm of bats is something people notice and definitely smell mostly.
In August of that year, 1995, came the Chupacabra's first witness, Madeline Tolentino. Since the original port of the Chupacabra, there had been hundreds of animals that died in the same way, from rabbits to dogs, cats, goats, and more, even when locked away. But no one had actually seen one yet. Madeline Tolentino was inside her home in Canavanas, where she looked out the window at 1 p.m. and saw a beast. She described the creature as having protruding black eyes that ran up its temples along the sides of its head. It was around 3 feet and walking like a human on its back legs. Its long arms were drawn back and had 3 skinny fingers at the end of each arm. Its legs were also very elongated with matching 3 webbed toes. It had no genitals and a strange burn mark on its stomach area. Madeline described it as being ready for combat, ready to attack at any moment. A suspiciously detailed description.
It was wearing like a military fatigues, had a rifle on its shoulder.
It had boxing gloves on its hands.
Yeah, brass knuckles.
ready for combat.
Why the reference to no genitals either? Like, that was an important distinction. Like I didn't see no cock or anything. Like
investigators would have asked where the cock was.
Any true scientist would know.
Yeah, you got to establish that first and foremost.
So up on screen right now, again for visual listeners or visual watchers, I mean, there's going to be a picture, the FBI drawing, as Charlie mentioned, of this interpretation, the description that Madeline Tolentino depicted. So there's a depiction on screen of that right now. I don't know. It's like a mix of the previous 2 depictions, but also standing upright like an alien. It's kind of alien-esque.
I'd say it's, very alien.
Well, it's like the body, it's the head that's alien to me. Like the
thank you,
kind of gray alien look to it with the eyes and stuff and the little nose. But yeah, very weird depiction. Yeah.
Certainly would give you a spook if you saw it.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't assume this was just a friendly man looking for help. I will give them that. This would be a spook.
I just don't know if it'd be looking for combat.
Yeah.
If it was squaring up its arms,
especially like the raised. Rocky music is playing as it gets closer.
Yeah. All right, real quick before we continue, just a quick word from the sponsors of this episode. When you're sick, waiting on hold with a receptionist for a doctor's appointment can feel like forever. That's why I recommend ZocDoc, the free app that can make booking an appointment as easy as possible. That's right, you can avoid those pesky calls and make the booking directly on your phone in a few seconds. With ZocDoc, I kind of always refer to it as like a doctor's dating app in a way, because you can search through a list basically of specialists and doctors within your area, sort them by highest rated and stuff like that, and find in-network doctors and specialists in your area that conform to exactly what you want, and within seconds you can book them through the app. It is so easy. And let me tell you, the dating market is extensive on ZocDoc. I gotta stop referring to it as a dating market. The doctors market and specialist market is extensive on ZocDoc. There's over 100,000 highly rated doctors and specialists just waiting for you to press the book button, basically. And there's so many across specialties as well, from mental health to dental health to skin care to eye care and much more. You can find basically any condition that you need checked. With ZocDoc, the appointments that you book are usually within 3 days to 1 day, that kind of time period of getting you an appointment. But there's been plenty of cases where you're able to score same-day appointments as well. It is quite common. Let me put it this way, if I was sick, I would be using ZocDoc to book my next appointment, guaranteed. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/redthread to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/redthread. ZocDoc.com/redthread. A link will be in the description as well that you can use. Thanks, ZocDoc. You guys are the absolute best. You guys are champions. You guys in the audience are also great. Thank you very much. Now, some more words. Healthy bodies are great. If you're looking to upgrade your rig, getting the right nutrients into your body is a must. And with AG1, it really is as easy as tearing open a satchel, pouring the mixture into some water, mixing it around, and just taking a big old gulp. One of the best things about AG1, other than its great taste, is that as someone who struggles with feeling awake all the time, especially when I need to, and as someone who doesn't drink coffee, AG1 is a great way of giving me the energy I need to get through the day, to power through and do what I need to do. In fact, 97% of people in a research study felt more energy after 30 days of taking AG1. 97%, that is an enormous stat. Not only that, and this is some more stats for you stat nerds out there, AG1 was shown to double the amount of healthy bacteria in your gut. And that, believe it or not, is a good thing. Yes, more healthy bacteria in your gut means that your gut microbiome is even better at doing what it needs to do for you, and that's boost your immune system and increase your digestive support system so that you digest foods and get the nutrients out as optimally as you can. If there's one product I trust to support my whole body health, it's AG1, and that's why we've partnered with them for so long now over here on the Red Thread. It's easy and satisfying to start your journey with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K3, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/redthread. That's the name of the show. That's drinkag1.com/redthread. Check it out right now. Big thank you to AG1 for the continued support. It really does mean a lot to have these kinds of companies and brands support the show, especially ones that are really reputable and great for you, like AG1. And thank you, of course, for showing them some love and some support. But right now, back to the episode. And back in. Isaiah, would you like to pick up where Charlie left off?
I would love to. This particular up-close and detailed sightings of the Chupacabra began to pick up traction, and the image of the Chupacabra began to truly form. Fear was taking over the region, with livestock still being found dead and drained of their blood. The mayor of Canavanas at the time, Jose Ramon Soto Rivera, I'm so sorry, believed in the Chupacabra and organized many search parties to try and find the creature, to no success. Throughout 1995, these livestock deaths were reported in Oricovos, Puerto Rico, various parts of South America, Mexico, Chile, and Brazil, and in Southern America. The name Chupacabra was coined by Puerto Rican comedian Silverio Perez. which it is like a comedian's name. I think he was a disc jockey at the time. To hear about something killing goats and then call it a goat sucker. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's a funny. It kind of takes the wind out of it, though.
Yeah. Well, in Spanish it does. Name. But to Americans, they're like, Chupacabra.
Like, the Chupacabra, yeah, that sounds exotic. And then you find out its name is like friendly little guy or something.
The same women who like say gracias, like they're the 40-year-old soccer moms who say gracias to the Mexican waiter, you know, at restaurants. They love it over stuff like this. All about it.
Yeah, they love the goat sucker for that reason. They do love
the goat sucker. As the story moved to Brazil in 1997, the Chupacabra became even more canine-like, drifting away from the description Madeline gave above. More press began to cover the story of the blood-sucking beast scaring the public. Hundreds of reports from farmers of their livestock dying horrible deaths were piling up.
See, I don't understand why, if the Chupacabra didn't exist, like it doesn't explain why there was thousands of sheep apparently dying over the country, being sucked of their blood. Like there's so many reports from farmers of their livestock dying that, like even if the Chupacabra doesn't exist, like what is the rational answer? I don't know.
I don't know enough about like threats to sheep to be honest, but I don't think it's a Chupacabra.
No, I don't think it's the Chupacabra, but I think something was going on a sheep killing rampage, and the Chupacabra was the fall guy, basically.
It could have been a bunch of dudes. It could have been a bunch of people doing it.
Well, is it possible that it was like an actual ritual thing? Like,
well, what I and I know this is out of character for me to play the skeptic, but just being honest, farmers have animals die a lot. So what otherwise would just be normal animal deaths or perhaps death to coyotes or something like that is now being recontextualized as like a supernatural being. So farmers, instead of just treating it like, oh, 3 of the sheep died, it's, oh, 3 of the sheep died. And it gathers like this new thing around. So I think it's just like personifying otherwise innocuous deaths through whatever like the zeitgeist is, like, you know, the thing that's going on. I think that's what's happening.
So you're saying they're using the Chupacabra as an excuse for their bad livestock handling?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I guess bad livestock handling, sure. But if you've got hundreds of sheep, a few of them are going to die, right? Like it happens.
Yeah. And sometimes they just mysteriously lose their blood.
I mean, sometimes, you know,
it's a phenomenon.
Will just, yeah. Sometimes like a coyote will just come up and kill 1 or 2, you know, a group of coyotes. Yeah, you've never like seen someone you know just die and then all the blood immediately evacuate from their neck.
Just like they just like a balloon deflating.
Yeah,
they just sink. Yeah.
It happens, bro. Yeah. It's a terrible thing to see.
It's like, what's the opposite? It's like spontaneous combustion, but for blood disappearing, I guess.
Spontaneous
sanguination.
That's
the word. Yeah. Spontaneous sanguination.
That's a badass concept.
That's
something I see in Diablo.
I'm gonna write that down. That's a really cool combination of words.
There's your next track title, Charlie.
Yeah, spontaneous sanguination.
It's pretty metal.
In Texas, in early 2000, people began to find animals they believed to be chupacabras. The animals were hairless creatures and had burnt-like skin. Authorities were alerted about what they had found, but after DNA testing, the answer would always be simple: wild dogs or coyotes. This happened multiple times. In 2005, in Nicaragua, some villagers killed a hairless creature they thought were chupacabras, but again, only a wild dog.
That's so fucked up. Also, if you thought it was a chupacabra and it wasn't hurting anyone, why would you kill it? Come on. That's mean.
Panic,
mass hysteria type. There's a thing in your villages that is going to kill your animals, so people kill it, and then it's like, oh, it wasn't that thing.
It's mob violence. Well, I guess they would also kill a coyote anyway.
Yeah, I mean, have you heard of the Salem witch trials? Like, like they just take like 14-year-old girls being like, yeah, we got to kill this one for sure.
Yeah, this was the Nicaragua coyote trials instead.
Yeah.
Very dark period of history.
In Texas in 2007 and 2008, there were 2 incidents of finding, quote, chupacabras that would end up being coyotes. Even with the pattern emerging, people still heavily believe the chupacabra persisted. It was just apparently really good at framing innocent coyotes. Yeah.
It's so sad. All the innocent coyotes lost to the chupacabra's tail.
Man,
so
you're so good. You're so true for that line, King. It's really good at framing innocent coyotes. How real. So real.
I gotta fight for my coyote friends out there. This one's for you.
Honestly, we could go on for a while about these type of reports, but there are some interesting things to talk about that we haven't mentioned yet. Let's go back to Madeline Tolentino. In 1995, a film was released called Species, a science fiction horror film about an alien-human hybrid called Syl who escapes from a laboratory. It's a weird horror film where a sexy alien human seductress goes around mating with guys with its eventual offspring threatening to end the world. Madeline had seen this movie before she saw the Chupacabra, and the alien in the movie very nearly resembled what she saw that night. Madeline thought what she saw happen in the movie was happening in her hometown, at least in its alien form, not in the sexy woman form. Is it possible that Madeline projected what she had seen from the movie Species onto an animal or shadow that she saw that night? Or perhaps she was really inspired by the movie and wanted to spread its message. A spark which then lit the fire on the Chupacabra tales for years to come. Knowing this information led many to doubt the credibility of Madeline's claims.
It's interesting that a movie, like a schlocky, pretty bad. I think I've seen it ages ago, but I remember thinking it was pretty bad. Yeah. A bad horror movie from the 90s led to the Chupacabra being like wildly reported on and kind of led to it being as popular as it is today. Yeah. And it kind of explains why she mentioned no genitals as well, if the movie was so much about mating and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, also, like, the creature from Species is it starts out as a woman, but then it transforms into, like, it doesn't look exactly like, but almost like Xenomorph, the way that, like, the head's elongated.
It's so close to
like
Xenomorph.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know why she'd mention no genitals and stuff. It is similar, the creature in the film to the creature in her description. So, especially the drawing that came out, you could see the similarities between the two. I mean, like, no one wants to admit it a lot of the time to be nice, but I'll say it. She was probably just a dumb person who, like, was freaked out by a movie.
Or it's possible that she just wanted attention as well. Like,
yeah, attention seeking.
And used it as a basis for her story. Like she's like, yeah, I totally saw a thing that looked like this using.
Well, even then, like, even if you want attention and stuff like that, you wouldn't pick a monster from, like, I wouldn't say I got scared and then I perfectly described the predator from the movie, Predator. Like, I'd at least be kind of original with my description.
I've said this on the official podcast before, and this led to an entire long debate, but it's like really hard to come up with original alien designs because like the human mind is very good at taking inspirations from other places.
Sure. You're not going to get 100% original.
Yeah,
I'm not one for one stealing the monster from a movie that's in theaters when I make the claim.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's also worth mentioning that if this description is accurate and that it all was inspired from Species, it would help lend credibility to it fucking my grandfather.
We have yet to consider this. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I remember watching Species when I was younger, and she was very hot. The alien.
Yeah, she had giant tits.
Huge. I remember having a young child and being like, hey. So you know what? Good on you, Charlie's grandfather.
Yeah. That cross alien species love.
Yeah,
is very nice to hear about. Thanks for that. What is that a reference to, Charlie? Why'd you tweet that?
I don't remember why I tweeted it. It was just a cool tweet I had in my little noodle.
You're just besmirching your grandfather's good name for Twitter likes?
He was a victim. Well, nah, it's consensual.
hold on. If he saw species, he would probably agree.
Yeah,
He'd be like, you're right, I did. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
The animals that fell victim to the Chupacabra's death were also never confirmed by necropsy. It was also found that hundreds of these animals were also not completely bled dry. This doesn't completely discredit the farmers or people who reported these animals had been completely sucked to blood, because they might have honestly thought they had been. If they had been bitten in the neck, blood would have poured out into a giant pool around the animal, making it appear like all of its blood was lost, but apparently that was not actually the case.
So what if someone was just like stabbing? I don't know, stabbing the sheep. Maybe there was like a menace going around stabbing sheep, and then they just bled to death. Maybe. Although I feel like you would hear like the screams from the sheep and stuff. So the deaths would have to be fairly quick. I don't know.
I think. Okay, so like if you stab something in the neck, it's going to bleed out and stuff. I can see how a farmer would come up to it and see it like its neck slit open and all the blood and be like, oh, it was bled completely dry, even though that's not technically true, right? It just bled out till it died.
No, I can understand that. And also, it's not, the neck wasn't like split open, remember? It's two just circular incisions, like teeth. Yeah.
Then there's also the taxidermied creature that resides in a home in Texas. Owned by Phyllis Kenyon, who originally saw the creature on her range after she had just gotten back from Africa. She left it be, amazed though by it and unsure of what it was, calling it, quote, the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Then in 2007, it ended up as roadkill in front of her house. Not at all suspicious for a woman with multiple dead animal bodies in her house. After taking a photo of the strange creature, it blew up online and she got it taxidermied. Experts later confirmed it was some kind of coyote.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like a dog, though.
I see this picture right now. Is she not the creepiest person you've ever seen in your entire life?
I was going to say, which
crap.
was the Chupacabra?
What the heck? Dude, I'm about to cry. This is terrifying.
Yeah, no offense to Phyllis Kenyon out there.
All the offense. Please stay away. I'm scared. Oh my gosh. What?
Also, it's just a dog. It's just a dog. Like, very clear. Why'd she think this looks strange? I get like it's got no hair or anything, but it's just a dog.
I'm so terrified.
I think it's her glasses. They're doing something with
the glasses is definitely not helping.
It's not helping, sure, but just like the combination.
Just elderly, that's all. It's not that bad. You're gonna look like that one day.
Oh, okay, all right.
I don't think it's the age part of it. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, it's scary. It's kind of scary photo. So there was another sighting a year after that that went viral in DeWitt County. Corporal Brandon Riedel was driving when he captured a Chupacabra running alongside a fence. And I've got a video here if you guys want to open it up so we can do a live reaction to this.
I've seen this video.
Oh, do you remember it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Look at it. It's a Chupacabra.
It's a Chupacabra. Get it. Kill it.
Get it.
Shoot it 2 times.
It's running away. Don't let it cross
Shoot it as much as you can. Keep just unload on it.
Yeah. So that's the Chupacabra, guys.
I love that cop.
See when it turns its head?
Yeah,
I love that cop that's like, I've never seen a dog in my life.
Yeah, I mean, the snout kind of looked interesting, but from behind it just looks like a dog.
It is just a dog.
I don't know why. Why were they so amazed by it?
I have never seen this in my entire life ever.
Yeah. Okay. That's enough of that. We've seen it. We've seen the.
Look how he's. This video is actually great because of how happy that cop is. He's like, I just turned on my camera and we got it. And I'm just tickled as a peach. So happy, couldn't be better.
See,
my mama was real proud of me when I showed her this video. She said, "You're going to put the town on the map." That's what she said. And by God, look, here we are on to the news.
DeWitt County, baby.
DeWitt County.
Isaiah does a better pirate impression than you do, Charlie. That was good.
Pirate? I'm being like pirate. Some Texan. What are you talking about? Pirate? Now I'm offended. Hold on. What do you mean pirate?
That was the best pirate I've ever heard.
Now
you took that seriously, like it wasn't obviously a joke.
It hurt my feelings.
if that's true, by God, I'll tell you what, we're gonna put this here county on the news, not only for having a Chupacabra, being the first in the state to do so, but also having our very own pirate ship out in the bay, said Jackson Clarke. And you know what? If Jackson Clarke was right about Boogie, who am I to say he's not right about the true nature of piracy in the Midwest?
Damn right. Yes.
That's the sheriff.
As the sheriff, that was the sheriff speaking. That is the authority of the town. So who am I to say otherwise?
Imagine, I kind of get it though. Imagine the sheriff. He's like been working at the desk in some boring town for 40 years, and then he sees a dog out on the road. Yeah, that's got to be the highlight of that man's career, right?
It has to be.
Never before seen. I'd turn on my little cop camera thing for that. Oh yeah. I'm just more surprised that the media took him seriously. Like, they saw the same video. Like, I get one person being like, holy shit, this is the wildest thing I've ever seen. But it's like the collective confirmation from multiple people being like, yeah, you definitely saw something there.
No, I don't think many people said that.
Well, yeah, the media was there. They were filming it. What do you mean?
Well, yeah, but they film stories on actually anything. I don't think they were there like that.
No, they played into it. Well, actually, that's probably why they were there, just to like...
I remember seeing that clip of like the dog running and turning its head on every single Animal Planet episode ever.
Oh yeah, actually I do remember that as well.
Yeah,
I remember seeing something similar to that on Animal Planet. Like,
yeah, like every Lost Tapes video, every like stuff that goes up. It's like, but then the creature was spotted running and with it turning its head in a way that dogs don't do. They don't check it, don't look it up. This is a Chupacabra for sure.
Actually, you're 100% right. If it was on Animal Planet and they did like a dramatic cut in on its face when it turned its head, tilted the camera slightly,
slow
put
motion,
a cool filter over
slow
it,
motion.
yeah, and like did a scary noise at the same time, I would have been scared.
Could this be what researchers were looking for? The thing of nightmares here in Carterito, Texas.
Yeah.
I watched so much Lost Tapes.
If you package it right, it can
start
sell.
Like 800 different like sepia filters on it, and then add some TV static and stuff, and like make a like beat drop when it turns
in the
head.
background.
Yeah.
That's
the devil right there. We should kill it. We should actually burn down that county, I think, to be safe.
It's the safest thing to do.
It's the safest thing to do.
So even in 2022, a Chupacabra was seen in the city of Amarillo. I've heard of that place. Amarillo, outside of the city zoo. At 1:25 a.m. on the 21st of May, something weird was picked up on the security cameras. The blurry creature is seen standing on its back legs and walking like a human, but it appears to have a snout and even an animal-like head, though hard to see in the picture. And then we have the picture here from the city of Amarillo. The quote says, "The Amarillo Zoo captured a strange image outside the zoo in the dark in the early morning hours of May 21st, around 1:25 a.m. Is it a person with a strange hat who likes to walk at night? A Chupacabra? Do you have any ideas of what this UAO, unidentified Amarillo object, could be?"
All right, for one, I don't appreciate them messing with agreed upon terminology to insert their cute little city name into it.
Yeah.
This is 1,000,000% someone in a costume, because what kind of security camera would just get a one still image of it midway through the frame?
Well, yeah. It takes
the rest
one
is
picture every
classified.
60 seconds.
Yeah, clearly.
Oh, true.
So I'm mad about their disregarding for procedure, an unidentified Amarillo object. Are you serious? Like, grow up. And also, I like
No
show
fun
me the rest
allowed.
of the foot. If this is so important, show me the rest of the footage. Show me that you're not a poser. Show me you're not a loser. I swear, these cities in Texas, they get one cool song about them, and then they just get all uppity like they're something. Well, you're not. So I'm kind of mad about this.
Didn't you just come from Texas?
Yes.
Did you have a bad time? Do you want to talk about it, champ?
No, I want to talk about. I
angry?
want to talk about Amarillo specifically, like thinking they're all uppity that they could just lie like this and just tell lies outside.
It is pretty low.
It kind of looks like the UAO.
Don't support them. Don't give them that. Don't give them.
I'll
this.
repeat myself. It kind of looks like the UAO has bolt cutters in its hands. Was it just going to break into the zoo?
No, it's a small pitchfork. Well, it's a full-size pitchfork, but it's so big it looks small in its hands.
Yeah. What you can't tell here is that's actually a 23-foot tall Chupacabra.
Those are the tallest fences. They're really protecting the zoo. Then that's enormous. Yeah.
I'm gonna find the original tweet. I'm mad.
Are you gonna fucking tweet?
I found the original tweet.
Don't start beef with the city of Amarillo.
I'm
on
immediately
the Red
started
Thread's
beef with the
behalf.
city of Amarillo.
No!
This is a disgrace.
That's not who you want to pick a fight with.
They're clearly good at their jobs. Don't do it. They'll destroy us.
Community. Get wrecked, pussy. There we go.
Wow. Wendigoon punching down. They've only got 8,000 followers on Twitter, you bigot. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Actually, I could do better than that. Get wrecked. Find God. Be better.
Well, you sure showed the entire
Grow
city of
up.
Amarillo, I guess.
Well, you're gonna be getting a lot of knocks on your doors pretty soon.
All right, Charlie. While he rage tweets at city of Amarillo.
Oh wait, hold up. Let me add a reply to that. Jackson
no more. No.
Clarke told
me
to type this.
I don't want to start
His
shit with Amarillo.
Address is 506. Actually, his address is the country of
they'll find me.
Act
If you want to send me
given
mail,
them
accordingly.
Should have told him it was Amarillo. The call came from inside the house.
Oh, actually, this would have been way funny if you actually went to Amarillo and did it from inside there. Like, took a photo of yourself inside Amarillo and then attached it as a picture to the tweet.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm about to ratio them already, so there you go. Sorry, continue. I just had to get that out of my system. Go on.
All right, I'm glad you've started the very first one of the. Well, is it the first red thread beef? Probably not.
I'm sure we're beefing with someone we're not aware of. I'm almost positive.
Someone in the comments waging their own fight right now. All right.
Probably the city of Amarillo at this point.
Oh, imagine if they're in the comments right now. Charlie.
All right. In later sightings, Chupacabra described more like a dog, hairless, thin, where you can see its spine, protruding eye sockets, and noticeable claws and fangs. But much like any cryptid or story, the appearance of the Chupacabra changes depending on sensibilities of the time and location for those who have supposedly seen the creature. A very plausible explanation for the Chupacabra in many eyes is that it's just a dog or coyote. Notably, coyotes will often attack its prey by the throat to kill as fast as possible. And then Jackson put a photo of a Chupacabra. Many wild dogs will develop a skin infection called mange. Mange can be pretty nasty, leading to thickened skin, severe hair loss, and a gross smell emanating from the animal. It's caused by parasitic mites that embed themselves into the skin of animals, leading them to becoming very weak. This prevents them from being able to hunt their prey like normal, thus turning to easier to catch food like livestock. According to dogtime.com, there have been many chupacabras killed by farmers that were DNA tested, and they were just normal dogs that suffered from mange. And mange is very sad. It's very gross.
Yeah, all diseases that affect dogs are so sad. It's fucking awful.
A University of Michigan biologist, Barry O'Connor, came to the conclusion that the reported sightings of the chupacabra in America were simply coyotes that were infected with parasite Sarcoptes scabi.
Sarcoptes scabi. I feel like that's just scabies, right? It has to be just
it's gotta just be scabies. In 2010, he spoke of how symptoms would explain the reported appearance of the creature, as coyotes with the parasite present have little to no fur, thickened skin, and a disgusting odor. The illness could also explain why the attack on goats occurred, because these animals are greatly weakened, they're going to have a hard time hunting. So they may be forced into attacking livestock because it's easier than running down a rabbit or deer. And then there's also the possibility that a lot of the American and Mexican sightings of the chupacabra are simply stray Mexican hairless dogs. And then there's a picture of a Mexican hairless dog here.
Yeah, that looks exactly like the one that she got taxidermied, that woman from before.
Yeah, it looks very similar.
Yeah, so... Yeah, this is the most rational explanation, definitely, that,
It's ultimately the incorrect one, because the accurate one is the next section about it being an alien.
Yeah. It was actually an extraterrestrial being.
Yeah, the extraterrestrial being theory cements itself into this story. Even though descriptions of the Chupacabra relate it to a dog, there are still strange, unexplainable details. Firstly, its appearance has changed throughout the years. People began to wonder why. Have the aliens changed their appearance depending on where they are in an effort to try and conceal themselves more by looking more dog-like in recent years? The Chupacabra went from a reptilian-looking creature, scaly skin, greenish with spikes, and hopping around on its back legs like a kangaroo, to a sort of bat creature with wings, blood-red eyes, and sharp fangs for sucking blood out of its prey, to, well, a Mexican hairless dog/coyote hybrid. Then there are the alien-looking elements of the Chupacabra. Smooth gray skin with large almond eyes, dangling thin limbs, and long elongated head. They're testimonials that state the Chupacabra emits a very high-pitched screech that brings waves of nausea to eyewitnesses who also smell a weird sulfuric smell.
Aliens are known to do that.
Yeah, they do that.
Aliens are known to stink.
So could the Chupacabra be aliens on Earth? Or perhaps they're simply the escaped pets from previous aliens that visited who have been long forgotten by alien tourists? What is the difference between an alien and an alien's pets? They'd both still be alien, right? We may never know.
I like throwing in some really, deep thoughts in there, some deep questions to really ponder about what is the difference.
Brain busters.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm on that side. I think it's an alien. The dog thing makes no sense at all. It has to be an alien.
Yeah, dogs don't stink.
Yeah, especially not ones with mange. They're not known to stink like aliens do.
And they don't spray a nausea wave.
Well, they do. I'm sure they do squeal when they're, suffering from something. So, yeah, I could see why some people might think that they're dogs, perhaps. But I'm firmly in the alien camp. It's got to be an alien. It's always an alien when it comes to cryptids.
I was saying I've been spending this time leaving an angry reply to Charlie's original tweet about the about the Chupacabra. I found
You found my Chupacabra tweet?
You also have another tweet from 2016 that says, "I'm working on a book. I don't want to give too much away, but it's called My Ass Pounded by the Space Chupacabra."
Oh, that's pretty cool.
You still working on that? Still in the lab?
Yeah, that one's still it's still being written.
Ghost written. Yeah, well, make sure you tag the city of Amarillo in those tweets as well.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Keep the beef going.
Okay, so now that's out of the way. Now everyone's spreading slander on the Chupacabra's good name's been taken care of. Would you like me to cover unidentified species?
Yeah, go for it. Fuck it, why not?
Going back to the Chupacabra being a dog, coyote, or some sort of animal, could it be an unidentified species? While it looks like other animals, the Chupacabra has a uniqueness about it. Its slightly strange appearance, spining backs, glowy eyes, could be from a genetic mutation, and it exhibits traits of reptilians and mammals. It becomes hard to put the Chupacabra into any singular category.
No, it doesn't. It's dog. The category is dog. What do you mean it's hard to put it in any singular category? Like, there's two different definitions of it or descriptions of it. Those are two wildly different things. It doesn't mean it is both of those things. Anyway.
May I continue?
Yes. You may. I'm getting angry. It's an alien.
Its vampire-like behavior could be the result of predatory or parasite adaptation. So, could it be a rare evolutionary offshoot species, adapted to be able to kill and suck the blood clean from its prey? Or what about an animal lingering from prehistoric times? Like the crocodiles, sharks, and sea sponges, maybe the Chupacabra is a figure from times long past.
Yeah, it could be a Carcharodontosaurus. I'm still in that boat. It could be
you guessed on that one. You guessed on that one. There's no way.
What?
There's no way that's how it's pronounced. Carcharodontosaurus or whatever.
Carcharodontosaurus.
No, you stop. Stop speaking Australian. I don't like it. All right. Would you like me to take the last part, or would you like to take it?
You can take it.
All right.
You can take it.
It's possible that what started as some blurry sightings of dogs or other animals propelled itself into this big, blood-sucking, alien-like cryptid. With so many reports on what it looks like, it ventures away from animal-like creatures to more of a folklore tale. In rural communities, Chupacabra embodied the fear of the unknown and losing one's livelihood, hence the livestock they need to earn a living.
Yeah.
There have been many animals that are mysteriously killed, these seemingly tangling themselves in the tale that could be the Chupacabra. With the added media recognition, mass hysteria, the story evolving with each retelling, is the Chupacabra a real animal, or could it just be a story that has reinforced itself through repeated telling? And then finally, a note from Jackson that says, no, it's clearly an alien.
Why am I the one taking the hard stance on this? When I feel like you should be the skeptic here. I'm saying it's an alien.
Okay.
You came up with a really good theory for the Mothman one. I want to hear that so that I can attach myself to it and believe it.
Okay, for the Chupacabra, you want to hear a theory like that? All right.
It's a time traveler.
The Chupacabra. People are wrong taking it down the reptilian route. The fact that it's on Puerto Rico is too often overlooked that Puerto Rico is an island, right? There are several aquatic creatures that have kind of these parasitic existences. A lot of like crustaceans, for example, or stuff like that are these kind of they've adapted to feed off of larger fish or to like drill holes in the side of fish and eat them and stuff like that. The reason that the Chupacabra doesn't show up anywhere on land until it suddenly appears as a full-blooded creature is because it existed beneath the waves before being able to migrate to land and begin to attack livestock. Now, that means that several Chupacabra sightings are falsehoods. The ones that look like coyotes or the ones that look like dogs or whatever are entirely just attaching the idea of the creature onto something that's clearly an animal with mange. Whereas the true Chupacabras, which exist around the Caribbean, are all creatures that have come up from the water to feed on prey before retreating back. That's why we can't find them again, and that's why we chased our own tail looking for evidence of it.
Right. So they're kind of like the what's the World of Warcraft fish people called? The
Merlin or the Murloc, yeah.
Yeah.
Similar to that.
Wizard.
Similar to that, but far more animalistic.
Okay.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay. So they come up from the ocean to feed, and then they go back into the ocean?
The ocean element is completely disregarded in Chupacabra tales. That's why we can't find it.
Right, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some like hidden city. Okay.
Yes, people far too clearly,
like
especially with the canine element, far too clearly associated with like desert existence or like, prairie and stuff. They're looking in the wrong direction. They need to go further out.
Yeah. So it wasn't actually wings that people were seeing. It was some kind of like swimming apparatus.
Well, it's their gills.
A wetsuit.
It's their gills.
Wait, no,
have you ever seen
gills?
Have you ever seen wings folded against something where it makes like these leathery flaps and stuff? It's the gills on the side of the creature.
Gotcha. Okay. Sure. I yeah. That sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds right to me.
Yeah.
Charlie, you got anything better? Or you
No, I think that finally closes the book on the whole thing.
All right. Well, hey guys, we did it. We solved the Chupacabra. It's
about time
an ocean
did.
dweller. Yeah. Why haven't they just tried? It was so easy. You just need Isaiah.
Yeah. They're just not thinking right.
Yeah. Good work, Isaiah.
Thanks, team. I appreciate it. Unironically, though, like when I remember being in the 8th grade, the Chupacabra pushed me towards a lot of my interest in storytelling now. Because I remember going into it like, okay, it's a made-up story. And then it's like there were actual deaths that were happening. And there were things around the area that were strange, like animals with mange, coyotes, and stuff like that.
I'm still saying it's strange that the things were killed, the sheep were killed in general. I still think it's strange.
There was something that was making people afraid, so they connected it to the local lores and legend around them. So learning about the Chupacabra in 8th grade, I would say directly led me on the path to doing Wendigoon now. So I am forever thankful to the silly little creature.
Yeah. Where would you guys rank it on the a tier list?
Mid-tier, only because Scooby-Doo carried it.
I think it's a C. Hold on, let me see where I put it on my Cryptid tier list. C. I put it a C tier as well. Yeah, I'd say it's a C. If we're talking about the creature itself, it's like a D tier. It's just like a dog or kind of undefined thing that runs around like drinking blood. But because of its popularity, I think it gets bumped up to C.
Yeah, for me it's a D, but because the woman in Species had tits, that moves up to a C.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
The stories around Charlie's grandfather might even push it up to a B because, hey, I like a cryptid that can entertain Charlie's grandfather. That's very nice.
Entertain is a wild word for that.
That is an interesting word for that.
That is an insane thing to say about what's being described in that tweet.
Wait, what is being described? He said it was consensual sex, didn't he?
Yeah, it was consensual.
I mean, I'm sure, but for one, the Chupacabra at best is an animal. Okay, so we're already pushing the lines there.
Hey, only if you subscribe to the fake news that it's not a fucking alien.
He straight up left. All right, that's going to do it for this week's episode. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you in the next episode of Red Thread. Wait, sorry, I forgot to do my duties. Remember, do all the stuff. Subscribe. What is it? We've got audio platforms you can go listen to the show on. Go check us out there. Feel free to leave a comment, like, all that kind of stuff. Really do appreciate the support. And let us know what you think of Cryptid episodes, because I'm interested in hearing feedback on this one because, again, we haven't been doing Cryptid episodes that much just because there's not that much to talk about, as you can see. Where'd you go, Isaiah?
Okay, it was funny because I didn't realize I cut out. I was just in the middle of talking and you just go, check us out on audio platforms. We're going
I thought you were making a point. Like
no,
you said, it's an animal and then you just left. Yeah.
I said it's an animal, and also it's like a 23-foot tall demon thing. So I don't think Charlie's grandpa really had a say in what happens.
Well, the Chupacabra respects boundaries.
Well, that's kind of him. And I also wanted to point out that someone replied to my tweet attacking Charlie and said "Red Thread moment," so they know immediately what this is about.
Immediately know.
Nice.
Hype. All right, thank you guys. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. We really appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And be sure to attack the town of Amarillo on Twitter. Thanks, everyone.
Don't
Bye.
do
Do that immediately.
Don't do that.
And remember, when you do it, Jackson Clarke sent you.
No.
The same guy who was right about Boogie. It's the guy who wants Amarillo destroyed. Thanks,
I love
everyone.
Amarillo.
Bye. See
I'm
you
a
in the
big
next
fan.
episode of the Red Thread. Wow.
Love you, Amarillo. Bye.